Welcome back to the Wolfcast
I
podcast,
guess so.
everybody. I'm the Tru Alpha here with my talented, amazing sister May
Hi.
and my brother from another mother, Fang.
This is a scuffed intro, but hi!
Today's topic is Pride
Yee.
and Pride Month and all that good jazz.
Yay.
Which Alpha and I both learned recently that there is a ally flag.
Yeah, I here in the thumbnail I've got Alpha as the ally flag. They didn't know it's basically it's the straight flag, but it's also straight ally flag. So, you have just the black and white for being straight, and then the rainbow for, in the shape of an A for an ally of the LGBTQ I put A plus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you just fucking read the alphabet backwards? The fuck did you just say?
It's the
Like she had
alphabet
a-
mafia is what it is. Oh, hang on. Let me do this. Hopefully, it's open. It should be on. Yeah, there we go.
Mhm.
Please no.
Ah, bless it. Can you fucking get your shit together?
I
We're
would
damn
rather
near
shit in
50.
my hands and clap.
We're damn near 50 episodes in, and she still doesn't have this shit organized.
No, I forgot that I had moved my
What a responsible adult. You're supposed to be the fucking oldest here.
You know what? I am responsible. It just I had forgot that I had moved my opening folder over onto my left side and not my right. Yeah.
See.
So I had to fix that before something happened. And luckily I had podcast stuff up, so I didn't have to worry about, people
Maybe if you
seeing
two didn't
something.
watch so much fucking porn.
I don't watch porn. Well, I mean, I do, but it's not for the reason why you think. So I'm an artist. So I watch
You know
or
I
look
watch
at porn
porn.
for the poses. Like porns are great places to get poses for. Like as an artist, yes. But anyway, that is not the topic of today. Today is Pride Month. It's June, Pride Month, and Indiana just had our Pride yesterday. So, what is Pride? Gay Pride or the LGBT Pride is the promotion of self-affirmation, dignity, equality, and increased visibility of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people as a social group. Pride, as opposed to shame and social stigma, is the predominant outlook that bolsters most LGBT rights movement. It's awesome. Like I've been to a couple prides and just the energy there and just it's so amazing to see what groups support and back the LGBTQI plus. Like there are actual, believe it or not, tons of churches that back the LGBTQIA plus and police forces and just all these places. It's amazing to see that, you know, people are loved for who and what they are, and it's just it's great to see that other people support them for who they are and believe in them. Like that's just it's amazing.
Well, it should be that way.
Hmm.
I mean, shouldn't have to fucking hide.
A Pride Parade, also known as a Pride March, Pride Event, or Pride Festival, is an outdoor event celebrating lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender social and self-acceptance achievements, legal rights, and pride. The event also at times serves as demonstrations for legal rights such as same-sex marriage. Most Pride events occur annually and sometimes take place around June to commemorate the 1969 Stonewall riots in New York City as a pivotal moment in the modern LGBTQ social movement. And doing my research for this, like I didn't know much about the LGBTQIA plus. Like my best friends are both gay, and I love them to death. Like I don't care if they were green, pink, purple dotted, had blue blood. Like I love them just for who they are. But
I might look at them weird if they got blue blood.
there's some rich bitches. But like I didn't know that it all sparked from a riot, and really cool to read and learn about it. Because what the Stonewall riots were, it's also called the Stonewall Uprising, began in the early hours of June 28th, 1969, when the LGBTQI placed customers of New York City's Stonewall Inn resisted police raids on their bar. In that raid that led to the Stonewall riots, 2 police officers entered the Stonewall Inn and demanded to check the sex of some of the bar's customers by physical examination.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's New York. There's some bitches. The Stonewall riots gave a new impetus to the gay liberation movement about the globe. A key part of this movement was to encourage conversations about the lives and perceptions of the LGBTQI plus people and to find for radical change in a way to the LGBTQ. We're treated by society. In the UK, for example, the Pride movement saw the growth of establishments of grassroots organizations that work to stop the oppression of LGBT people. Key example to this is the Campaign for Homosexual Equality. So,
Hmm.
yeah, and doing all my research, like there's like even back in the 1600s, like the LGBTQI plus is not a new thing. Like people wanted to see it as, oh, this is something that's popped up overnight. Blah blah blah. No, they have been around for as long as people have been breathing.
So for
I
the
would, yeah.
people
Go ahead.
at home that may not know what that acronym, if I said that right,
Mhm.
Yep.
what's it actually all mean?
So there's actually a couple of them. You have the LGBT, which is the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. LGBTQIA is now the full abbreviation of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, allies, asexual, and pansexual, and demisexual. But it gets put into the LGBTQI plus. And then you also have the 2SLGBTQ, which is the two spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and the two spirit is your Indian. Uh,
Uh,
I thought that was so cool.
See,
I
because
don't
I
fully
always knew
understand that one because I don't know about it.
Hmm.
I knew the first uh part that you said, but when you were adding like the plus and all that, I've never heard that until today.
Oh yeah, like I
I've seen it, I guess. I guess I've seen it, but I've never heard like what it all meant.
gotcha. Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to
Well,
understand.
now you know, and knowing's half the battle. GI Joe.
Jesus Christ.
um, but yeah, like it's been an amazing journey reading and studying and looking at all this stuff. So let it not be said that the Wolfcast podcast does not do their research.
That's about the only script reading we do.
Yeah,
And by we, I mean you, because I refuse.
refuse. But
So
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I have like a story where like my mind started to slowly change.
Mm.
So like like as a kid you grow up and you'll say those I don't want to say them
The
now, but like
slurs.
those the
Yeah.
slurs to your friends, hey, you're a
Mm-hmm.
and like looking back on that I kind of feel bad. Because I mean like I don't know, everyone does it. Or at least I feel like everyone did it.
Everyone, when we were growing up, those terms were very common as insults.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own beliefs around those words, mainly because I don't view them, and by those words I mean one word in particular, the F one, because I don't
Mm-hmm.
know all the slurs when it comes to
The female ass grab.
yeah. I don't know all the slurs when it comes to that side of things. I only know that one from what I can tell. Outside of like the old ones that were used in the fucking 60s and 70s,
Mm-hmm.
just because they sound funny.
Well, funny story. There's a person that I worked with at Dunkin' Donuts, and he preferred the term being called queer instead of gay because he's like, that's what I am. I'm an enigma. I'm weird. I'm not of the ordinary. And he's like,
Right.
I don't see it as an insult. I see it as it's what I am. I'm queer.
I still, this goes along with the word that was used for people, and I'm not saying it now to be respectful, but if you watch my streams, I say it pretty often. I think I've said it in past podcasts as well, just slip of the tongue. The word that is used for mentally handicapped people that isn't exactly accepted,
Mm-hmm.
I use that too. But for me, those words do not hold the meaning that they were originally used for anymore. So when I use the R word, for example, I am not calling you mentally handicapped.
Mm.
If I call you the R word, I am calling you stupid beyond belief because you are either ignorant or you've got your head so far up your ass you can't see the sun.
No way to
Like
put it.
I'm not insulting your limitations. I'm insulting that you have general human intelligence and you're still being stupid.
Go away, or I will taunt you a second time.
That is the context that I use the R word. I understand people can get upset about it. I am sorry, but that's how I use it. I'm not mentally. I call mentally handicapped people either mentally handicapped, mentally challenged, or I had another word, but my brain's going derp because booze.
Or what they actually are suffering from, like cerebral palsy, or if they have Down
Yeah,
syndrome.
if I know what they got, I'll address it as such. They have
Oh yeah,
this.
I'll fight somebody if they actually call somebody that. Like, excuse you, educate yourself.
If you walk up to somebody who's mentally challenged and you call them that, I'll punch you in your fucking mouth.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Back to like the whole pride side of
but
things. I
yes.
wanted to tell that story.
Well, let me get this also clear. So besides the R word, when it comes to the F word, and again, due to the subject matter at hand, I'm not going to say it out of respect here,
Mm-hmm.
just so it doesn't get misconstrued, or even though I'm explaining myself here. If I call somebody the female ass grabber, or whatever the fuck the female ass grabber IT would be,
Or an English cigarette.
or the English cigarette, I am not calling you homosexual. I am not calling you gay. You're not good enough for that if I am calling you the F word.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've met amazing, just absolutely amazing
Oh
homosexual
yeah.
people.
No,
I've met assholes too, but
I would
it's
I would rather have an insult that a gay person has slurred at somebody, because their insults are fucking fire. Like,
they
oh my
don't hold up.
god, I love their insults. I'm like, yes, get him, girl, get him.
But no, it's just I don't like that I have to explain it that way. What in the fuck?
Mm,
There is something wet under my desk, and when I pulled my fingers away, they were red.
I'm
Flip
sorry,
it.
I had to go.
No, but so if you ever hear me, if you're in my streams, if you meet me in person, and I'm just saying the F word back and forth, I'm saying the R word back and forth, I am not using the insults as originally intended.
Mm-hmm.
I
can
would never
confirm.
call a homosexual person the F word. I would never call a mentally handicapped person the R word. Anybody who does is on my shit list.
Mm-hmm.
However, I will call a straight man the F word just to watch him get pissed the fuck off.
You fucking fire us all up.
Just get us all going.
Like, anyway, your story, Alpha?
So I was never like, if you were gay and I knew, like, because obviously you don't know like what being gay is or anything when you're younger.
Mm-hmm.
No,
So, like,
not unless
growing
you
up,
get explained early, but not a lot of
yeah.
people did when we grew up.
But once I started like finding out about it, I was never like don't fucking touch me, stay away from me. I was never like that. But I was like that, like I didn't want anything to do with it. Like I was like, I knew I'm straight. I'm nothing. Like I wasn't more acknowledged as I am now.
Mm.
And it really didn't change until probably about my sophomore or junior year. I sat next to this I won't say his name, but this gay guy, and he was so fucking friendly and nice, helped me out with, because I was terrible in history. He would always help me out. He would tell me I could copy his test, which I wouldn't do because I'm not getting in trouble for that. But he'd like, hey man, if you need help on the homework, da da da. Really fucking cool guy. So it started slowly changing my mind about like, hey, as long as they don't fuck with me, I'm fine with them. Like, you guys are cool. Like,
Oh yeah.
and then I met several people throughout the years, and like my brother's gay and my cousin's gay, and then my buddy from work. And that guy at work has actually even evolved my level of like respect, because he's like he helped me out a lot the past year after my breakup, trying to like find myself and like tell, like, hey, just be you, do what makes you happy. He would always like have my back and stuff. So like the little things that like, I don't know if this makes sense, and I don't mean this in like in a bad way. Like I don't respect the gays or anything, because you guys are helping me out. But like, it's just they're so friend. I guess what I'm getting at is that they're so friendly that like I don't see why people get hate on them just because they're gay. Is what I'm getting at.
Gotcha. Like,
I don't know. I'm rambling on. It doesn't make sense.
no,
No,
no.
it makes sense.
You respect them. The way that you respect them is because, not because they're sitting there sugarcoating shit or just trying to be all masculine or feminine, like, blah blah blah. Like that they go out of the stigma of, oh well, they're this person, and they're gonna try to hit on you no matter what, because they're gay and you're straight. Blah 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 blah. It's no, they're most of the time they don't even care if you're straight or gay. They're just like, hey, you need help? Here, let me help you, because it's a decent human being thing to do, is to help somebody. But through the years, there's just all the hate that's taught is, they're seen as subhuman. Like they don't know what human decency. They're just perverted, just sex mongers, and the people will sit there and convince you that they are like the green-eyed monster that's there to suck your soul out of your body when they're actually
I
just
mean, more power to them.
right, but no.
Like nowadays, like I'm at that point where like obviously I'm straight, but like
Are you?
if they want to hit on me, that just makes me feel 10 times better. I'm like, cool. Now I know that I'm
I've
at least attractive to men and women.
So May, I just sent you something I want you to watch while I tell this story. It's in Messenger
Okay.
because I need you to make it like soon.
Okay.
But when growing up, I knew about gay people. I knew about lesbians. Back then, that's all there really was to worry about. You didn't hear about anything else.
Mm.
You didn't hear about bisexual, pansexual, demisexual. You didn't hear about it. Nobody cared, or either like the terminology didn't exist, or people were scared to address it. That's how they were. What have you? Whatever the reason was, and so I didn't notice. My first interaction with a gay person was in middle school. And even then, they were so afraid of being gay that they denied being gay and just said they were extremely feminine. You work with that person now, Alpha. That was my first experience with a gay person. And back then, I didn't get hit on in high school, like ever, pretty much.
Maybe they
And
were too afraid to.
no, I didn't have the angry face that I have now in high school.
Oh, okay. Are you sure?
I don't know, Alpha. Did I have the angry face that I have now in high school, or did I just look like I'd cut you for no reason?
I mean, you had the nickname Crazy Fucker for a reason. I mean,
Okay, so like when I first met you, all I saw was like
Poofy hair.
crazy fucker. Like this dude's
Yeah.
crazy. Like he doesn't give a shit. And then getting to know you, you didn't give a shit.
Yeah, I still didn't give a shit. But no, so I didn't get hit on a lot by either sexes until I was out of high school. And at first, I had two gay roommates for a while, and God help me if I walked out shirtless. And at the time when it first happened, I was a little uncomfortable because I wasn't used to being oogled. I wasn't used to being hit on. And it weirded me out a little bit. But now, like, our neighbor's got a gay best friend. He'll come over and I'll slap his ass.
I love him so much.
I picked him up bridal style and acted like I was going to carry him in this fucking apartment.
He's like, "Ooh, girl." I love him.
Yeah. Like, yeah, if I get hit on by a gay dude, I'll be like, joke's on you, I'm into that. Because I myself am pansexual. It doesn't matter what you are or any of that. If I like you, I like you.
And he holds the goal.
No, that's a bad way of looking at it. That's a bad way of looking at it.
I apologize.
You're not wrong. That's just not right.
Oh,
But no,
God.
I can hear my best friend screaming.
So even your best friend May, I'll slap his ass. I've flirted with him in front of you.
Oh, I know, but he flirts with you too in front of me. I'm just like,
like,
y'all are gay, and I love it.
was I like this 10 years ago? Fuck no. I wasn't raised around it. I didn't decide for myself, what I liked, what I was into, who I liked, whether or not, what made me judge a person, basically, which is a bad way of putting it because you really just shouldn't. Don't openly judge people until you know for sure. If you want to make your own quiet judgment in your head, go for it. Don't let it dictate your life. Figure out the facts. But this goes what I was talking to May downstairs about, and I'm sure Alpha overheard it because her microphone's sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't hear anything.
Okay. Well, basically, I'm going to say this argument. People can be mad. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're all amazing beings. This is just how I view it, and it helps me out. So, the whole don't assume thing. I hate it. Humans naturally assume. It's what's kept us alive. Whether the assumptions are right or wrong doesn't matter. We assume. We play safe. So if I walk up to you and you look masculine, I might call you or refer to you as he, him. If that is wrong, correct me. Introduce yourself to me as you would like to be called, and I will adjust. Do not blow up on me for going based off of an assumption. A theory. Look at it like a theory. An assumption is just a theory, and a theory is meant to be proven right or wrong.
Well, how dare you assume?
Did you miss the last 10 seconds, motherfucker?
Honestly, I zoned out. I'm not gonna fucking lie.
You're so pretty, Alpha.
Human beings naturally assume. It's what we do. It's in our nature. If you say you never assume, you're fucking lying, because I guarantee you've at least had one assumption thought cross your mind in the past 5 minutes.
Like, I assume Fang's an asshole.
Exactly. A lot of people assume I'm an asshole. Am I? Sometimes.
Sometimes.
97.3% of the time.
Y'all ain't
More
gotta
li-
call me out like that.
More
But
like
it's
95.
It's like, I get it. You want to be called what you want to be called. I'm willing to oblige that. But if you do not introduce yourself to me right away as you wish to be called, I'm going to assume. Once I'm corrected, I'll call you as you wish to be called. It's like our roommate who is trans. I was introduced to them as their male pronouns and their male name. And it was like that for me for about 2 years before somebody went, hey, they're trans. They use she, her, and here's their feminine name.
Yeah, for the longest time, I kept fucking that one up.
It becomes, because I will address you as I am introduced to you. So since I was introduced to her as the male form, for 2 years, that's how I addressed her. That's how I talked to her, all that shit. And that became habit.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until last year that I broke that habit, and I've been addressing her as her proper pronouns and her proper name. But I asked her at the time, I was like, I apologize. You know, nobody told me anything. I'm going to have to break this habit, so bear with me. And they told me they didn't give a shit what you called them as long as you didn't call them something like derogatory. But they were patient with me. And that's the thing. You can't address people with anger due to misunderstandings.
Yeah, educate.
Educate, teach them, let them know. If they continue to do it for no reason, like they haven't built up that habit and they're still just blatantly ignoring your wishes, then be an asshole. Fuck them. But if it's because of habit, bear with them. Times are changing. We have to make sure they change properly. We cannot get rid of hate with different types of hate.
Nope.
That's not how that works.
So the two wrongs don't make a right kind of situation.
No,
Well,
but if you turn left enough,
It's gonna be hate with hate if people keep fucking hating on people for their beliefs, and then I fucking hate on them for being fucking stupid.
Vicious cycle that never ends. It's like
Yep.
I'm hoping one day for the future that eventually the hate that's being taught from families will eventually be weeded
It
out
will.
by newer generations,
It will, and I'll tell you this much. I've actually been hopeful. All right? I'm going to go Alex Jones in this bitch.
God.
I thought you
They're
were
putting
about to bust
chemicals
out
in the
your
water.
Fucking
Turn the frog
freestyle.
straight. No.
Yeah. But no, so what's
I
happening right
literally,
now?
what went through my mind right there when you were like, I'm about to go on a rant. Fuck it. And I just felt like a beat was about to fucking play.
I hit my desk. I don't know if the microphone picked it up, but I fucking slapped my desk. But no, here's the thing. What I am seeing in the world, because I'm quiet. I see everything. People talk to me. I have eyes and ears everywhere. They
quiet?
talk around me. I am. When I'm out in public, when I'm at work or I'm at the grocery store, I don't talk to people. People will talk to me. I don't necessarily engage in conversation per se. But when I'm around, people ignore me. They talk around me. I hear things. I hear the rants. I hear the complaints. I hear everything. And it's maddening sometimes. But what I am witnessing happening in the world is honestly exciting. But it's also scary. So what's happening here is we're starting to get into that situation where people from the 90s, people born in the 90s and 80s, whose minds are being changed and altered to be this more political correct way. And I know there are people who'll be like, fuck political correct,
Words are hard.
political correctness, fuck it, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, cool, whatever, fuck your freedom. But the people whose minds are changing, the people who are growing up to accept people for who they are, to not judge right off the bat, to welcome people into their home, to be kind. Those are the people who are taking over. And it's scaring the ever-living fuck out of the people who are trapped in the old ways. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You cannot make progress without change. You will always be running in place.
Mm-hmm. Can't make it all without breaking snakes.
So the older generations can complain that these newer generations aren't doing what they used to do back in the day. They're not hiking to school in 7 feet of snow barefoot.
Uphill both ways.
Yeah, uphill both ways, wearing a war helmet with a fucking MRE to your belt.
MRE.
But this change is happening. And as long as we don't let the previous generations drag us down, there will eventually come a time where LGBTQ people, what was the other one? Because today's the first day I've heard of LGBTQI plus.
LGBTQIA plus.
IA plus. There will be a time where that's just accepted. Everyone is something. There is no reason to hate another human unless they're a piece of shit.
Unless they're hurting you or your family, there's no reason to hate anybody for the color,
it's like
love, or whatever.
Hate is wasted. There is no point in hate. Literally.
Quite frankly, honestly, and I just fucked that whole sentence up.
No, you got it.
Don't have the fucking energy to hate anymore. Like
it's pointless. Like you sit there and you're like, man, that guy really pissed me off. And then you sit there and you think about it for a second. And you're like, fuck him.
Fuck me yourself, you coward.
There's no point to fucking hate. Like, it's not benefiting that person. It's not benefiting you, because at the end of the day, they're not going to change their ways.
Nope.
You're not going to change your ways.
It's like the acronym of you sitting there drinking poison, hoping the other person will die. That's what hate is. It's you causing that pain being said, to hope that, they feel it.
To kind of run off of what Alpha is saying here, you can't change a person. But unfortunately, you have to try to an extent. Should you try to the point you are hurting yourself? No.
Well,
but you should try to plant. You should try to plant the seeds of change.
A better way to say that is that you can't change a person, but through education and information, there's a way to help them learn to change themselves, not to be changed by somebody else.
Right now, we are living in a world where it is the needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many, and that needs to change. It needs to be changed to the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And it'll eventually happen where it's entirely possible, because I deal with possibilities in my head constantly. I run through scenarios. I run through what the future holds. It's frightening. But it's entirely possible 80 years from now, there's not a single straight person. And by that, I don't mean they're all gay or they're all trans. I mean they're bisexual, pansexual, demisexual. There will be no straight heterosexual people. Or there'll be very few to the point where they're dying out, which isn't a bad thing.
Not dying out, but like it's don't say it as that way. Say it as, throughout the years, hopefully that everyone will be some form of a person that's not set to a specific mold of just male, just female, just straight, or others.
Or even if there are still heterosexual people around, they're more accepting.
I just imagine that one guy that's probably like older than us that has just discovered our podcast. He's listening to this and go, that Fang guy's a fucking moron.
I don't say things that people like. I have my own systems. I stick to them. Nobody can say I'm without conviction. You don't like what I say? Don't listen. But if you're listening, I'm going to keep talking.
Well, we may not be everyone's cup of tea, but it's like I've always said, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
And they all stink.
But I've always left it as, when people ever ask me for advice, it's like, this is my opinion. This is my thoughts. This is not what you have to do, but this is just an idea of what I would do going about it, but you don't have to
So-
choose that path.
So funny enough, I work with a guy, and he's become he's become a friend of mine at work now. Like, he's equal to me in skill on the dock and all that fun shit. And he's who I talk to. Like, he's somebody I can talk to at work. He and I are almost opposites, especially when it comes to political talks. And I hate that LGBTQIA+. I think I did that right.
Mhm.
So I hate that that's become political. It shouldn't be political. It shouldn't be a political movement.
Oh no, it should.
A belief system, maybe, big maybe, but it shouldn't be a political issue.
It's just basic human rights.
People's human rights should not be a political issue. But when it comes to politics, he and I are opposites because I am neutral. Both sides are stupid, but both sides have their ideas from time to time.
You're all stupid, but you'll learn it eventually.
Yeah. Whereas he is neutral, but he agrees with one side more than the other side. He'll point out when the side he agrees with is being fucking stupid. But for the most part, he agrees with one side more than the other. And because of this, I feel like he is without bigotry. He is willing to talk to you. He is, he told me before he has no problem with a gay guy walking up to him and hitting on him. The second the gay dude smacks his ass, he's going to have a problem. But outside of that, he has no problem with a gay guy. Or like, there was one day I thought, what did I do? I was driving to lunch or something, and I passed him. I said, "Hey, fuck you, buddy." And he looked at me, turned, blank expression on his face, and went, "I'll kiss you on your fucking mouth." And I went, "You know what? That's fair."
Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna keep trying.
Yeah, and I drove off and went to fucking, like, he's not homophobic with, even though his political side that he sides with more would call him to be. But it's cool to meet people who aren't completely, so closed-minded with their belief system that they're not willing to talk.
Mm.
He's asked me recently to actually start up a VR podcast with him.
Oh, nice.
I told him I was down for it, but he wants it to be just covering shit that'll piss people off. Because you would have two people who are willing to just talk. No yelling, no debating. Just talk. Address opinions, say your beliefs, piss people off, go about your day. He wants to do it in VR, and I said, fuck it, let me know when.
No way.
Because I do that. I don't mind pissing people off. These hands don't discriminate.
Well,
Neither do my words.
let's get more back on this more of the pride here, because you are right. Like, I'm not gonna disagree with you. It's like, wholeheartedly, it shouldn't be a political movement. It's like, doesn't matter what you are, who you love, what you do, you're valid. Like, I've always been that way. It's, I don't care who you love, I don't care what color you bleed, I love you for who you are. If you're a genuine piece of shit, then I will genuinely not like you. But if you're gay, black, Australian, Kiwi, whatever you are, I don't care what you are.
What's the line from the movie where they're like, "I'll love you no matter what," and then it's fucking like pink, purple, blue, or even a dinosaur or some shit like that?
I have no idea, but I agree.
It's a quote from a movie, and there's actually another quote from a movie that I'm seeing a lot on Facebook here recently that is from fucking Pokemon. That is incredibly inspirational for Pride Month. And it's Mewtwo. He's talking, and he says, what is it? "I now know that the circumstances of one's birth do not determine how their life is lived, but rather than some..." I'm going to look that up real quick so I don't fucking book it. So I don't
While he's doing
I
that,
feel like Mewtwo is gay or bi.
Oh, no, he's a power... I put him as bi, but, like, he's also a power bottom. Absolutely.
no, I think he's more like a power top.
I don't agree with power top.
Really?
Oh God.
No, the reason why is because you're just a top at that point. Like,
But it's
okay, here it is.
but it's Mewtwo.
So here's Mewtwo. "I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are." That is from Pokemon, the first movie that came out in like 1999.
That we all sat there crying because Pikachu was trying to get Ash to wake back up. We're all sitting there crying like bitches with skin knees.
That wasn't fair.
You know, when they rebooted it on Netflix and did the same thing,
I
I
still
still
fucking
fucking
cried.
teared up.
It
was
made
like-
it made me go. I was like, don't do this to me again, man. Not
I
again.
already cried once. God damn it. But what has the Pride movement achieved? Since the Stonewall
Yes.
riots, the LGBT people have fought globally for their rights and liberties. Alex Harlan's summary charts track the surge in countries which legalized homosexuality following First Pride. Moreover, the LGBTQIA plus people now have personal and political rights, for example, equal partnerships. In countries around the world, such as Colombia, New Zealand, Iceland, Ireland, and the UK, the Pride movement continues to fight for the LGBTQIA rights in the 21st century. For example, Serbian LGBTQIA plus activists successfully held a 2014 Pride March in Belgrade, which came after a long campaign for state support and protection. Similarly, the work of the LGBTQIA plus campaigners meant that in 2014, Denmark became the first European country to allow transgender people to hold official documents like passports, which reflect their gender identity.
I think that's so fucking stupid that there has to be a debate over that.
Mm-hmm.
Skin color, religious belief, all that shit shouldn't, even fucking sexuality, it shouldn't matter if you're going for a seat of politics. It shouldn't be a debate as to, it's weird too. So when you think about it, I'd love to sit down with a politician and argue this too. So we are born. If you're born in America, and I'm assuming if you're born anywhere really across the world, maybe not North Korea, but everywhere else, you are born with a basically solid concrete document that says here are your rights as a human being. So you're telling me, let's say I do it the old school way. I'm born from ages 1 to 10, I'm straight. Puberty hits. I decide guys are looking pretty good. Or we'll take this a step further just to really piss somebody off. I decide at 11, 12 years old that I wasn't born right. That I should be female instead. So I decide that I am trans. And I know, yes, you can be, that would go under that I was born to be female instead of male. I understand that argument. That's not the point here. Stay focused. So I decided at 11 or 12, I'm going to be female.
Well, not that you decided, but you felt that you were born in the wrong body.
I felt I made the decision, therefore change. Because unfortunately, how our society is, you can feel a certain way that you were born in the wrong body, but there will still be that part of you who was raised to not think like that, who argues with the other side of you.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you have to decide. You have to pick a side. It is still your choice. It's not a choice as I just woke up one day and decided to be female. It's a choice of which side of my mind am I going to go with. That is what I mean by I decide. So I decide to go out with the female route. Well, now, since I decided to be trans, that solid concrete thing of rights that I had just cracked in two.
Essentially, you just,
so
you no
so
longer
I
have
had
rights.
12 years. I had 12 years of human rights, and now that I decided to be trans, I no longer have those rights. Last I checked, I'm still human. I didn't magically turn into a dog.
Here's a question for you then.
What's that?
So I got asked this the other day, or not the other day, probably about a couple weeks back in stream, and I really didn't know how to answer it.
Let me get it.
So if you are a male and you become female,
Okay,
and you start dating guys, are you now gay?
you're straight.
Or so you're straight? I didn't.
Straight.
I
When your
I
gender
literally looked over and I was like, I physically can't answer that. I don't know the correct answer.
when you go through that gender identity switch, when you go from male to female, your sexuality changes as well. It's the same with a girl who goes from female to male. If they start dating women, they are still straight. That's how that works. Your sexual interests change with your sexuality. So if you change sexualities, then your sexual interests change as well and into the prior form. That being said, I personally have not met a solely straight transgender female or transgender male. Typically, with the ones that I have met, they are bi, if not more. That's not to say, straight trans women or straight trans males don't exist. I personally have not met one yet. If you're watching this and you're one, leave a comment down below. Fucking prove my ass wrong. Let me talk to you. But that's how that would work. If you are male to female and you start dating men, you are straight. If you're male to female and you start dating women, you're lesbian.
Or
Or if you're male to female and you just don't want to date anybody, that's asexual, isn't it? Because I'm not going to lie, there are so many terms, there are so many things out there right now,
yes.
I've lost track.
There's a lot. Asexual or ace is someone who experiences little to no sexual attraction. They are not to be confused with aromantic people who experience little or no romantic attraction. Asexual people do not always identify as aromantic. Aromantic people do not always identify as asexual.
Okay, so I would put an aromantic as somebody who doesn't necessarily need that physical attraction to somebody, period. Like they don't need human comfort. They don't need to date somebody. They don't need to be with somebody. Whereas an asexual person will still be attracted to you and probably still date you, but there will be no sexual attraction.
Mm-hmm. Well, and to get back on, and there's, as you were saying, there are so many. So you have gay, lesbian, bisexual, pansexual, asexual, demisexual, gray sexual, cisgender, which is your basic straight man, woman.
Yes,
transgender, transgendered, but not a lot of people use that nowadays. Trans or trans plus. You have gender nonconforming, also known as GNC. You have non-binary, gender queer, gender fluid, gender neutral. You have MAAB, FAAB, and UAAB, which is male assigned at birth, female assigned at birth, or unassigned at birth. Intersex and plus. So it's not just a mathematical symbol anymore, but it's the notion of everything of the gender and sexuality spectrum that the letters and words can't yet describe.
Gotcha.
And I will post a link about that in the description. But I want to pull this up. This is worldwide laws regarding same-sex intercourse, unions, and expressions.
Wait a minute. This can't be accurate.
No, this is.
And
accurate.
I say that for one reason. So if you look at North Korea, it's gray.
Well, it's because we don't know much about North Korea, honey. They're very hush hush.
I promise you, it's the death penalty.
Yeah, I don't.
Promise you.
Don't know. That's what the map says.
Fuck the map. I write my own.
But mainly in a lot of the western quadrant of America and Australia, we're all very, marriage is legal. We're accepting. More or less towards our Mideastern areas, it's death penalty, death under militia, prison. They're still fighting for their right to just exist in your eastern areas of the world. Like,
so something I find funny about this map.
Join us.
No, so what I find funny about this map, you see all the little blue dots just kind of hanging around the ocean there?
Mm-hmm.
Those are islands. I shouldn't need to tell you that, but just for those people who might not know, those are islands across the ocean.
Nah, that's gay fish.
I almost promise you those islands had gay marriage legalized before any supercontinent.
Oh, probably.
Or not
yeah.
supercontinent, but before any other nation did. Because, fun fact, primitive people or people who live primitively don't give a fuck.
Not really. And then I also want to bring up this one as well. This is people that support or oppose or have no regards for same-sex
Of course,
marriage.
Russia doesn't care.
Yeah, it's Russia. But I mean, Russia does care. I don't think they have enough information to get off it. But I mean, it's amazing to see how much support and love for the LGBTQI plus has grown. It's amazing.
It's amazing to see it. What does black mean?
I think it's either an unknown or I think it's like an unknown or it's just there's no information for it.
So it's great to see all that blue. That blue is amazing. Yeah. It's astounding. It's upsetting to see that much red.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost equally upsetting to see that much gray.
Mm-hmm. And then
this map should be all except fucking Antarctica down there. They can stay. Nobody fucking lives there. I don't even know why it's on this map. But this should all be blue.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter what you are, who you are. Love is love.
I blame religion.
Yeah, big part of it. And then also with your LGBTQI plus is the flags. I love the flags. They're so much fun. There's so many of them. Like this is just a small
Where's
portion of them.
mine? There you are.
Yep. But you've got your rainbow, which is your basic, and I actually love the better one, which is it has all the colors in it, plus your black, your tan, your white, your pink. It has everything. I love it.
The progressive pride.
Yeah, I love that one so much because it just includes everybody. But then you actually have I love how there's like just 4 different lesbian
Wait,
flags. I love it.
Oh,
poly
Canada.
polyamory has its own flag?
Yeah.
So I guess I'm under 2 different flags.
And there's also a horse. There's horse lovers. There's
What?
yeah, like people just like it's not like horse lovers, so people have sex with horse, but it's just yeah.
Yeah, I know what it means. It just didn't. Okay, hang on. I got 3 flags. Hang on a second. Let me check all this shit out because I only thought I had the pansexual
I was
flag.
sad they didn't have the pup flag on here because my best friend's a pup, and I wish it was on
Yeah,
here.
the pup flag is
So what's
nice. So you have monogamy, which is one-on-one.
Monogamy.
You have
monogamy.
you have a girlfriend. That is the end of it. You have polygamy, which is what May and I are.
No, not polygamy.
Not polygamy. No, polyamory.
Yeah.
What is polygamy?
It's the Mormons.
But that is polyamory.
I love the Canadian
What
pride
was the
flag.
one that you just said? The Mormon one?
Polygamy?
Polygamy. That's where the men can have lots of wives. That's
the harem.
that's
That's like every man's dream to have several women, but I never in my life have I ever good for you two that can share. I personally cannot share. Like if I ever had a girlfriend or a wife who was like, we need another person, I'd be like, have it on you because I'm out then, I guess. Because I can't share.
May was similar thinking, and I'm grateful for her to, she was willing to try it. But it's definitely a mind flop. I mean, obviously, every guy has their fantasy of, having multiple women in their bed. And let me tell you, that bed gets really fucking hot when you're stuck between 2 people, because I was in the middle.
it's
Wolfie in the
also
middle.
with polyamory as well. It's relearning the stigma that's been placed in your head, and it's
Yeah.
so it was something for me to learn and adjust and feel and learn that how do
And now you love her just as much as I do, if not more.
but it's also a way of learning that it's not because I'm a bad person or I'm not enough, or it's learning that you can share
You can
love.
love.
Yeah.
You can love more than one person. You can be with more than one. There are also rules in
Oh,
place,
yes.
man. I have a list of rules. Those list of rules extend to lady. They're a little bit different for ladies' situation, but there are still rules in place. There's still respect involved.
Mhm.
There's trust involved. There's all this shit. Like nothing is hidden between the 3 of us. We have our own little group thing where we talk. Like for the most part, that's how I talk to May anymore. I don't single message May that much anymore. It's all
Group like, hey.
in that group. I say good morning to both of them at the same time. I what's up?
I was gonna go back into the thing.
Yeah.
But why is the history of Pride movement important today? In order to celebrate Pride fully, it's important to learn about to remember those who fought for the right to celebrate. Remembering Pride started as a protest reminds us of how Pride today can continue to fight for the rights of the LGBTQIA plus people. Learning about who started the Pride movement reminds us that the Pride Month celebrations must be inclusive. Reflecting on how the people that started Stonewall riots were treated reveals the importance of Pride as a celebration. And you can go all throughout history with learning what we have done as a community in the gay.
Look at the Romans.
Yeah, the Romans. But in 1924, you have the first gay rights group established. In 1958, you have the Supreme Court rules in favor of gay rights. In 1966, I think it's the Medellin Society organizes a gay rights sit-in. 1969, you have the Stonewall riots. 1973, that homosexuality is no longer declared as a mental illness. 1987, Barney Frank becomes second openly gay member of Congress, which I was just like, yes. 2000 Vermont.
Ooh, we're everywhere. Get used to it.
Yeah. 2000 Vermont takes a huge step towards same-sex marriage legalization. 2009 the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act becomes a law. 2011 Don't Ask, Don't Tell is over. 2013 SCOTUS strikes down the Defense of Marriage Act. 2015 President Barack Obama acknowledged the LGBTQ community plus in the State of a Union address. Like, it's amazing.
There's been a lot.
Oh yeah. But you've got 2015, Obama calls for the end of conversion therapy. 2015, sexual orientation is added to the military's anti-discrimination policy. And in June 26, 2015, the Supreme Court finally and officially declared same-sex marriage as a constitutional right nationwide.
Shouldn't have been an issue, but let's go.
Mhm.
So I need you to, fuck, how do I say this? I need to know that if, I guess if I'm pansexual or if I am just still an ally.
I would
Because
put you still as an ally. You might not care when it comes to the person. So
With pansexual is you don't care if they're man or woman, you just love them for who they are.
yeah, man, woman, transgender, it don't matter. You might be. So I know you and I have talked about this. You are willing to get with a transgender woman, a woman who used to be male. Well, let's put it this way. A woman who used to be male, she has gone through everything. She's had the surgeries, all that. She looks female.
Yeah.
Not a
Well,
handsome
not
male.
looks
You would
female, is female.
is female. I say looks female as in no longer looks masculine.
Yeah.
So you would get with somebody like that, even if you found out that they were trans.
Yeah.
But you would not do the opposite.
But see, that's where I'm confused because, like, I could sit there and be like, that guy is a really good looking guy. Would I hook up with him? No, but he's an attractive.
There's nothing wrong.
No, that's you being
there's nothing
comfortable with your
wrong with
sexuality. Yeah, that's you
Yeah,
being
that's-
comfortable.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with telling, oh, that man is pretty. Hey, man, you're handsome as hell. There ain't nothing wrong with complimenting
Like we
people.
said before, there are some pretty men out there.
Yeah, because I get looked at funny. Like, there's a guy from Riverdale, the guy who plays Archie, and then there's Jordan Fisher. He's like, he fucking does everything from like singing to acting, streaming, all that. They're both fucking good looking men.
There's a guy who played in The Witcher. It's one of the black guys. He has got absolutely gorgeous
Before
eyes.
our podcast comes to an end, I wanted to touch on something that's really serious and important with me, and should be with everybody else. The LGBT youth are not inherently prone to suicide risk because of their sexual orientation or gender identity, but rather placed on a higher risk because of how they are mistreated and stigmatized in society. A lot of your top line statistics are suicide is the second leading cause of death among young people aged 10 to 24. And lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning youth are at significantly increased risk. LGBTQ youth are more than 4 times as likely to attempt suicide than their peers. The Trevor Project, which whenever my birthday comes around, I always have that as my place to donate to every time. But it estimates that more than 1.8 million LGBTQ youth ages 13 to 24 seriously consider suicide each year in the U.S., and at least one attempts suicide every 45 seconds. The Trevor Project's 2022 National Survey on LGBTQ youth mental health found that 45% of LGBTQ youth seriously considered attempting suicide in the past year, including more than half of transgender and non-binary youth. 75% of LGBTQ teens experienced symptoms of anxiety in the past year. 61% experienced symptoms of depression. Among all LGBTQ youth surveyed ages 13 to 24, 82% wanted mental health care in the past year, and over 60% of those youth were unable to access care. The fact that people see the LGBTQI plus as such a horrible thing is taking a huge mental toll on our youth that are finding out who they are as they grow up. We need to be careful with the words that we use because our children are one of the most precious things. And no matter if they are gay, straight, non-binary, asexual, transgendered, they are there to be protected, not from the outside world, but from the parents that are so close-minded they cannot accept change in their life. We need to make sure that we are protecting those children because their lives matter. Your life matters. You are important. You're loved. You're wanted in this life. And that's one of the things I strive for is that everybody I meet, I'm like, you're loved, you're wanted. And if you don't have a mom or dad, I'm your mom right now. Go drink your water, eat your vegetables, brush your teeth. I love you, and don't do dumb shit.
I don't know if you gave me an answer or not to that what I asked. Kind of
So
just like went into the next topic.
no, it's you being pansexual. You're not pansexual.
You're
Damn it.
wholeheartedly an ally.
Yeah, you're. I'd put you as a straight ally.
Mhm.
You're comfortable with your sexuality, and the reason why I say you are a heterosexual ally is because you're willing to be with a trans male to female woman who has gone through the
The change.
through the change completely, but you are not willing to do the opposite.
I'm totally
Whereas
comfortable if a gay person doesn't feel comfortable and they need a strong, handsome young chap like me, we can make out.
Oh yeah, I'll
I
totally
don't
be
give a
your girl.
fuck.
I'll totally be somebody's girlfriend if they need me to be. I'll be like, "What's up, girl? Let's go." I will kiss you on the lips and I
I'll
will
be
hold your
gay
hand.
as shit to piss somebody off who doesn't
Oh yeah, and
agree with
if
it.
you're a trans woman and you're afraid to go in the bathroom, find me and I will happily walk in there with you and I will protect you no matter what because you are a woman and women we need to stick together. There are some ways to combat homophobia and heterosexism.
punch him in the mouth.
No, violence is not the answer. I'll go over a few of them for you, but attend workshops on homophobia, heterosexism, and transgender issues. Read books, see films, attend special events focused on LGBTQ plus issues. Talk with your lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender friends, relatives, coworkers, or fellow students about their experience. Get to know them. Learn the struggles they're going through. Um, Recognize your own homophobic or heterosexual bias. Identify ways in which homophobia affects the way you live, the way you dress, you choose friends, mannerisms, etc. Don't assume that all my friends or classmates or coworkers are heterosexual or gay. Because there are a lot of people out there that are either very feminine or masculine that are straight as can be. They just have those qualities. Um, Use inclusive language in classrooms or casual discussions. Encourage inclusion or diversity or difference. Be accepting. Be open minded and understand that this world is always changing and that you are just a small speck of dust in the universe. You know, there are not multiple races. And as cliche as it is, there's just one race. It's the human race. We're all in this literally together. And I
We're
think
all in
this
this
together.
together.
But I think once we all realize that we are all just the same person, that's when we finally take our power back. Like we're being separated by man, woman, gay, straight, Russian, black, all of this stuff when we're all just the same race. And I think once
Yeah,
we get past that hate and that color blindness, we're gonna be an amazing world.
quite possibly, but it's going to be a long way away, and we have to keep that progress going.
Oh yeah.
But we are at the end of time, I do believe.
But remember, at 100 subscribers, I'll be doing Alpha's makeup. So go ahead and get the word out there.
We're going to make him look
It's
pretty.
gonna look real pretty. I can't wait.
Somebody's got
I'm
to.
much excited. Go ahead and visit our spring Wolfcast 20. Get 20% off everything that you purchase. Patreon. Get exclusives like polls, one-on-one meetings, being a podcast, behind-the-scenes contests, content, art lessons. No donations too small. We appreciate all the love and support that you guys give us. Go ahead and head over to our Dubby.
Looking at it right now.
I I want to get more. Use Wolfcast 10 to get 10% off your entire order. It's great, high energy,
Didn't
no
they
crash.
just release a new flavor?
Well, they've got the 5 flavors, unless they release a 6th one. But I've got the Passion Joy Tea, the Beach and Peach, which I love that. Go ahead and follow us on all our social medias. We are allies here in our home and on our podcast, and I want to make it very clear that we are a very safe place to be, and we accept you no matter what you are, who you are, because, like I said, we're all in this together, and we're all just one person. We just have different colors, and we think different ways, but we're all still the same person on the inside. We just want love and affection and to be wanted for who we are. And I wholeheartedly believe that that's what we are.
Yep.
Song's gonna be stuck in my fucking head.
You're welcome.
So we love you guys so very much. Thank you for sticking with us. Happy Pride Month, you beautiful beings. Please keep being as flamboyantly awesome as you can be. If you are out of the closet, I am so happy for you. Congratulations and welcome to the wonderfulness that is your new sexuality and as to who you are. If you're still in the closet, take your time. Come out when you're ready, but make sure that you are in a safe place when you come out because When you are loved for who you are, there is no greater feeling in this world. And we love you for who you are.
I'll go in there and help you.
Indeed. We will
I'll
walk
drag
out.
you out. I'll drag you out, kicking and screaming.
I'll happily hold your hand and walk you out like the mother I am. So we love you guys, and we will see you in the next podcast. Bye!
Goodbye.